Well, hey everyone, I'm Matt Cherry. I'm one of the pastors at Victory Church in Valentin, and I'm so grateful to get to share today's focus with you. Today we're focusing on leveling up in our serving. And our verse for today comes from Matthew 20, verses 25 through 28. Here's what it says. But Jesus called them to himself and said, "You know that the rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and their great men exercise authority over them. It is not this way among you. But whoever wishes to become great among you shall be your servant, and whoever wishes to be first among you shall be your slave. Just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many." The context of this verse is that the mom of a couple of Jesus' disciples, James and John, comes to Jesus. And she doesn't understand the kingdom of God yet. And she says, "Jesus, when your kingdom gets set up, grant that my sons would reign on your right hand and on your left hand." And she didn't get it. Jesus said, "That's not my authority to grant. That's the Father's authority." And Jesus pulls all the disciples together and says, "Listen, guys, in the kingdom of God, if you want to be great, you got to be a servant." And he even refers to himself when he says, "The Son of Man," as in Jesus, "didn't come to be served, but to serve and to give his life as a ransom for many." That was Jesus' purpose in coming, to be a ransom and to serve. Now, in our lives, in our context right now, cultural context, we hold leadership and authority in a really high regard. We think, hey, if you want to be great in the church, you got to become a good leader. And leadership is important, don't get me wrong. But when Jesus comes to these disciples here, he says that if you want to be first in the kingdom, you've got to serve. It's easy to prioritize our calling and our giftings in the kingdom of God, to say, hey, I'm called to this, or I'm gifted, I'm really good at this. But you may notice in the church, there aren't a lot of gifted chair stackers. There aren't a lot of gifted children's ministry people. It's just a place to serve. If you want to be great in the kingdom, you got to serve. Now, if you think about it, as we pursue impact in the kingdom of God, we're all looking for one thing in the end, that we would stand before God and God would say, "Well done, good and faithful servant." Serving is the top of the kingdom of God. That's who we want to be. That's what we've got to aim for. Now, as we do this time of fasting and prayer together, it's so easy to pray for things that we want from God. God, can you help me with my daily bread? Lord, would you help this person who is sick? And those are good prayers, right? We need to be praying those. Sometimes one prayer that we miss is this one prayer that I like to say, if you want an answer to prayer, this is the guaranteed prayer where you're going to get an answer from God. And the prayer is this: God, what can I do for you? It's not about me or what I can get from you. It's about what I can do for God. God, how can I serve? I promise you, if you pray that prayer, you will get an answer. Day by day, when you get up in the morning and say, "God, what can I do for you today?" God will give you an opportunity to serve. So in close and in our application today, that's really it. It's this prayer, and we can pray it here together. God, what can I do for you today?